What made a millionaire offer me his Ferrari just to delete one photo? I'm a special ed teacher at one of those private schools where tuition costs more than most people's salary. You know the type: marble hallways, Olympic pool, parents who show up in Lamborghinis. I've been there for 3 years, mostly working with kids on the spectrum or with learning differences, but there's this one parent, Nelson, who runs the show. His family foundation keeps half the school running. He built a new science center and funded the endowment. When Nelson speaks at board meetings, everyone listens. When he sends emails about maintaining academic excellence and standards, even the principal forwards them with "please review." Nelson doesn't just ignore that special needs kids exist. He actively campaigns to remove them from his school. And because his donations keep the lights on, nobody dares oppose him. It started when Nelson got Mateo expelled. Sweet kid with dyslexia who just needed extra reading time. Nelson filmed Mateo struggling to read aloud during a parent observation day and sent it to every board member with the subject line, "Is this the standard we accept?" Mateo's mom begged the administration to reconsider, but Nelson had already donated $50,000 for new smartboards. Mateo was gone by Friday. Next was Kelly, this brilliant girl with ADHD who sometimes fidgeted during assemblies. Nelson started a petition claiming her disruptive behavior was affecting other students' learning. He got 47 parents to sign it. When Kelly's parents showed up to defend her, Nelson had compiled a dossier of every time she'd stood up in class, every pencil she'd dropped, every time she'd asked to use the bathroom. He presented it like evidence in a court case. The school gave her family 2 weeks to find a more suitable environment. Then he came for Henry, a kid with autism who was actually thriving. Henry was getting straight A's, had friends, played violin in the orchestra, but Nelson found out Henry had a one-on-one aide and lost his mind. He calculated how much the aide cost per year and demanded that money go toward gifted programs instead of babysitting. He started showing up during Henry's classes, taking photos through the door window of the aide helping him. He'd email these photos to parents with captions like, "Your tuition dollars at work." Henry's parents tried fighting back, hired a lawyer even, but Nelson's law firm was bigger. Henry left mid-semester. The worst part was his standards committee he formed with other parents. They met monthly to identify problem students who were dragging down the school's reputation. I watched him stand up at a fundraising gala and actually say the words, "We need to stop pretending that all children are capable of excellence. Some genetics simply aren't meant for institutions like ours." People clapped. They actually clapped. He donated money for a new wing with a condition it wouldn't be wheelchair accessible because we don't have those kinds of students anyway. It really got out of hand when he targeted Gabby. 7 years old, sweetest kid you'd ever meet. Mild processing disorder that just meant she needed things repeated sometimes. Nelson got a video of her teacher explaining instructions twice and turned it into a full presentation about inefficient use of educational time. But Gabby's grandmother was on the school board. She was the only person Nelson couldn't buy or intimidate. That's when I decided to volunteer for the school's community service program. We were supposed to visit local facilities, including the state-run special needs center 2 towns over. Nelson had no idea I'd signed up. He had no idea what I was about to discover. But I knew something felt off when he donated $100,000 specifically to exclude that center from our volunteer rotation. When I arrived at the state-run special needs center, it smelled like bleach and medicine. I was assigned to the long-term care wing, helping with afternoon activities. That's where I met Hugo. 17, wheelchair-bound, couldn't speak, but his eyes tracked everything. The aide mentioned his father visited every Sunday without fail for 16 years. Then I saw it, a distinctive birthmark on Hugo's jaw, the same birthmark Nelson's perfect son had, the straight-A lacrosse player Nelson constantly bragged about. "Can I see the visitor log?" Nelson Diaz. Every Sunday, 2 p.m. I pulled up the school directory on my phone. Nelson's family photo confirmed it. His son and Hugo had the same face, twins. Nelson had twins and kept one while institutionalizing the other at 8 months old. I started taking photos. The visitor log. Hugo in his wheelchair. "Who's that taking pictures?" Nelson stood in the doorway. His face went white. "Delete those. Now." 16 years of visiting your defective son while campaigning to remove special needs kids from school? How sick are you? He crossed the room fast. "You don't understand. His brother doesn't even know Hugo exists. The perfect son I created. If he knew about Hugo, he'd be disgusted." Nelson pulled out his Ferrari keys. "Delete everything. The car is yours, plus $300,000. He went to Hugo, immediately gentle, adjusting his blanket, speaking softly. A completely different person. "Delete them," he begged, holding out the keys. "Please." I pocketed the Ferrari keys and uploaded the photo to the school's parent Facebook group.